Namaste and warm welcome to you all in this presentation session. The title of my study is Youth Employment and Opportunities. Basically, I'm focusing on youth employability and opportunities. Youth denotes the state of active, energetic, and dynamic stage of human life. It is a period of life when a person has energy, zeal, enthusiasm, and spirit that shape his future. While talking about age factors as youth, most countries, the youth age has been defined as the age in between 15 to 24. However, international organizations as the United Nations and World Bank have considered the youth as those within the age of 15 to 24. As for this record, our database, when we see UNDP 2014, we can see one among five is youth. In developing nations, this accounts for 85%. Really, it is immense opportunities, but opportunities lies in how we use the youth. Only it is useful for those countries which can understand and underscore value of youth. In our context, Nepal, according to population census 2078, the number of youth, as youth is defined here in 16 to 40 years, that stands at 12.4 million. It is 12.4 million, that is 42.56% of the total populations. But the country is unable to take benefit from demographic dividend. As we know that youth are the change agent, but we are not in the position to get such demographic dividend. Youth employment is really a global challenge. Developing nations are unsuccessful in steering young individuals towards proper education system and linking them to the job market. They are underutilized. Youth are being underutilizing the actual capacity of the youths. They are not being fit with the job market just because they are away from the proper education. So with this, I just like to say about the challenge. Challenges are there in employment opportunities because of some regions. Some of the regions here I like to discuss about is weak manufacturing base. Still, national policy is not guided by the entrepreneurship and industrialization mindset. We are not focusing on how to utilize our resources, basically human resources, for our best. Moreover, there are lacking equal opportunities for young women and men. Gender discriminations. That is how the potential of half of the youth remains unrealized. Next, job providers are not finding right candidates, and at the same time, here, another part, youth are complaining for not getting job. What is the gap? Simply the gap is less effective education and training system. Just take the example, we talk about agriculture is our base, but are we producing human resources who can work on the educational field in agriculture, educational agriculture transfer skills we do have? No, we have gap just because we are lacking content so that we can work for the best. Anyway, there should be need fit, there should be job fit, there should be academia and practitioner fit. Only then things work. In the limited sense, jobs are there, but who connects? The majority of young job seekers rely on informal networks and contact to job search. The role of public employment services, education and training institutions and job fairs play a very insignificant role in assisting young women and men to look for the jobs. So basically, the topic for discussion is employment risk and how to mitigate this as a self-development learning. So employment risk is all about the uncertainty associated with the job. It is the individuals facing difficulties just because of fear of losing job, experiencing adverse conditions in the workplace, and all other circumstances. In these conditions, there should be employability, skills that one can enhance through enhancement of educations, acquired skills, or the development of structure. The lack of corresponding skill is one of the example I'm giving, is the lack of corresponding skill that may consequences in challenging in securing suitable job opportunities. Individual has to be remain in what suboptimal employment, that is below one's level of expertise, or sometimes joblessness. That is how a skill must be upgraded. So it shows that one has to develop their competencies and engaging in continuous educations so that they can mitigate all the challenges. For these things, they need motivations. Motivations are of two types, pull and push motivations. Pull motivations are the ease of searching the job or likelihood of finding alternative opportunities, whereas push factor is the factors which is just because of dissatisfaction with the current situations. Whatever else, both factors give somehow pressure so that one can get other opportunities. So basically, I'm focusing on SDL, self-development learning. As a behavioral issues, one has to develop the concept so that people learn continuously. So in this aspect, we have to think about three main aspects that is explained by Garrison in 1997: self-monitoring, self-management, motivations, and goal setting. One has to monitor oneself, evaluate one's one learning practices, and engages in metacognitive thinking. Accordingly, one has to manage oneself. It is learning activities that extend beyond oneself. It only not just cover learning, but encompasses social interactions and all other behavioral implementations. For these things, continuous motivation is required. So that is what you say intrinsic motivations that significantly influences people's commitment and dedication to self-directed learning. So self-directed learning is to be continued so that we can think about differently. So the reasons we don't have to depend on what conventional job search process. Instead, we can think about different approach. We can self-evaluate so that we can identify learning requirement, establishes precise learning objective, identify the essential physical and psychological resources. So we can select and execute appropriate learning approaches. So in this way, we can think about variety of STL approaches that comes from online courses to other skill development so that we can develop our job search strategy. We can think about, this is a digital age. In this digital age, we can think about next generation's skills next. So we have to think about differently. So we should think about stage concept and formal and informal method of searching the job. As a preparatory phase, we should know about what kind of things are demanding in the days to come. One has to be preparing a stage, okay, where people or individuals assess future job opportunities. And in dynamic phase, people express their convenience for the job. That is simply getting ready and going ahead. So for searching, formal and informal methods must be learned, okay. Just like formal job seeking involves utilizing public resources such as newspaper, internet, campus recruiting, employment services, whereas in informal job search process, it is all about getting personal or developing network such as acquaintances, family, and business community. All these results for the best job employment opportunities. So the reasons we should know about role of STL so that it can develop ourselves and get into insights about the career progressions and having employment result. So the policymakers must foster motivation, resiliency, and successful job search outcome in the context of employment risk. Only then it enables youth to navigate job transitions successfully. With this, everyone has to think about the employment issues so seriously. As youth are the backbone of the nations, we must have to give due attention for youths so that they can be best fit for the nations and do have best contribution in the field of nations in every aspect of the um, in life. Okay, then this is how I just like to conclude this my presentations. Thank you.